Fatiha. السلام عليكم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والصلاة والسلام على رسولنا محمد سيد الأولين والآخرين. مدد يا رسول الله، مدد يا سادات الصحابة، مدد يا مشايخ الدستور، وإن شاء الله فاز داسان شو محمد كان مدد طريقتنا الصحبة والخير في الجميع. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. إنما المؤمنون إخوة فأصلحوا بين أخويكم. صدق الله العظيم. Allah Azze ve Celle'nin emri Müslümanlar, müminler kardeştir diyor.
It is Allah Almighty's order that Muslims, mu'mins, the believers, are but brothers and sisters.
Kardeşler arasında bir fitne çıkarsa onları birbirlerine barıştırın.
And if there's conflict among siblings, one should make an effort in order to establish peace among brothers and sisters.
Bu büyük bir fazilettir, bir rahmettir.
There is blessing and mercy in making peace among two fighting parties, among the Muslim brothers and sisters.
Allah Azze ve Celle'nin tarafından onu yaparsanız rahmetim üzerinize olur. لَعَلَّكُمْ تُرْحَمُونَ diyor.
And if you establish peace among Muslim brothers and sisters, then the mercy of Allah Almighty will be upon you.
Sadakallahu azim. Bu çünkü müminler arasında daima şeytan aralara girer.
We must be careful because Shaitan is always after the believers, the mu'mins, and he wants to ruin the relationship of mu'mins.
Aralarını bozmak için bozunca da insanın şeytanın kontrolüne girmiş olur.
Shaitan wants to destroy the good relationship among believers, and if he succeeds in destroying that relationship, he will take care and control over the people whose relationship he has destroyed.
Gıybet de eder, kötülük de yapar.
And thus he will incite people to backbite, to gossip, to speak ill of each other, or to make people do bad things.
Hani yasak olan şeyleri, Allah'ın yasak ettiği şeyleri yapar.
And once Shaitan ruined the relationship among people, he will make those people do all those things which Allah Almighty has forbidden.
Müminin Peygamber sallallahu aleyhi ve sellem dediği gibi her şeyi ona yapılacak bir şey haramdır diyor.
But our beloved Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, said that everything that is done against a believer is prohibited and forbidden. It is haram.
Kanı, malı.
You cannot violate a believer's right. You cannot harm you cannot harm or damage their belonging. Their blood is forbidden to you.
Canı, ırzı, onu.
The honor, you cannot damage the honor of a believer.
Allah Azze ve Celle haram kılmış.
Allah Almighty has forbidden to cause harm or damage to your fellow Muslim brothers and sisters and your fellow mu'mins.
Onu dikkat etmek lazım.
We need to be very careful about not harming our believer brothers and sisters.
Onun için ihtilaf olunca her türlü şeytan yaptırmaya müsait olur.
If there's conflict, you must know that Shaitan is there to make you do all kinds of bad things against each other.
Onun için insanlar arasında varsa onu iyilikle, hatta
therefore try to establish peace among those people who have an argument in a beautiful way.
Yani doğru olmayan şey bile olsa o müsaade olur. Bu adam seni seviyor, bu adam sana bir şey demiyor dersen bile de o da.
And one should speak nicely of each other. And in this situation, it is also appropriate to speak good on on one party's behalf. So you may say, that person likes you, that person speaks well of you. So you may say those good things in order to encourage those two parties to agree and to settle and to make peace and no longer fight each other.
Münasip olur yani insanlar arasında ıslah etmek için.
In these situations, it is appropriate and permissible in order to establish peace among the Muslim brothers and sisters to say such things about that person says nice things about you, that person likes you, that person has a good opinion on you, and in order to spread in order to have people have a good impression of each other.
Sulh yapmak için, barıştırmak için.
And this is permissible and appropriate in order to establish peace and good relationships among your fellow Muslim brothers and sisters.
Bu zaman da tersine oluyor. Bir şey oldu mu adamı körüklüyorlar. Ya, aile içinde kadın kocasıyla şey yapınca aileler onlara nasihat edeceğine hemen anında boşa bunu.
But these days things are completely the opposite way. If there's conflict among Muslim brothers and sisters, they even incite they even incite and stir up each party in order to fight each other even more. For example, if there's an argument between wife and husband, then the parties, the families, instead of giving good advice, they prompt them to get divorced.
Kadını evlerine alır, orada daha fazla sakinleştireceğine daha fazla körükler.
And then the families separate wife and husband from each other, and then instead of calming that fire and settling that argument, families then incite both parties to fight each other even more.
Hatta hiç dönmesin diye.
And they incite those two arguing parties to the extent that they shall never reunion again, that they shall never come together again.
Çok bu zamanın insanı şeydir. Ondan sonra da başlarına kalır, ne evlenir ne barışır.
And what happens in the end, because of these incitements and making people and encouraging people to fight each other, wife and husband, they separate, they no longer come together, and they stay apart from each other.
Yani bu şeyler mühim şeylerdir. Bu zamanın insanları ben haklıyım diye kafasına koyar.
It is important to have good relations with each other, but these days only people are after and have set their mind on being right.
Haklısam geçinmek için bazen de katlanmak lazım.
And yes, you may be right, but it is important in order to get along. And in order to get along, it is important to be patient and to tolerate and to endure.
Onu nasihat etmesi lazım.
And in order to be patient, one should listen to good advice.
Ailesi ya insanlar arasında şey olursa.
And those people around two arguing parties should give good advice. So if there's an argument, families should make encouragement for people to come together again and to be in good relations again.
Fitne olursa onları da sakinleştirmek için her türlü şeyi denemek lazım.
And if there's conflict, if there's an argument ongoing, if there's fitna, and especially when it's in the family, then one should make sure and try everything one can in order to settle that argument, in order to establish peace and make the two parties get along well again.
Allah'ın sevdiği şeydir.
Allah Almighty loves us to have good relations with our fellow Muslim brothers and sisters.
Müslümanlar karı koca arası, aile arası, çocukla anne baba arası.
It is important to have good relations as a Muslim community, to have good relations within our families, with our wife or husband, with our children.
Ya onların hepsi barışmak, iyi geçinmek için elinize geleni yapmak lazım.
And we must do whatever we can that we get along well and that we have good relations.
Allah hayırlı geçimler versin.
May Allah Almighty enable us to have good relations.
Fitne yapmak kolaydır.
It is easy to cause fitna or to cause conflict among people.
Barıştırmak zordur. Allah yardım etsin.
However, it is difficult to make peace and to settle arguments. So may Allah Almighty help us and support us.
Bu fitneler düşmesin ailelere.
And may Allah Almighty protect us from such arguments, conflicts and fitnas in families.
İnsanlar arasına iyi insanlar beraber olsun inşallah.
May good people be together.
Allah tevfik. El Fatiha.